Your meal. So you remember me, do you? How could I possibly forget? So that's your real name, huh? You mail. That's right. But those people on the Yona were calling you Sizzle. That's just an alias I was using for my deal with them. I didn't see any need to tell them my real name. Could you do me a favor? Will you let me ask you some questions? I've been trying to find out my true identity all night. Sure, go ahead. I'm sure there's plenty we can still tell you, right, Detective Yod? Right. You mail. 10 years ago. You were a top system engineer, weren't you? System engineer? What's that? By the way, I'm a top Pomerian, you know? Well, it's kind of hard to explain to a dog. But it's a person who is good at using computers. I don't mean to drag, but I was one of the best in the industry. That's how I got roped into joining that project. Project? What project? Oh, it was a project aimed at recognizing the nation's top secret information. The goal was to build a new system using multi-dimensional programming theory. I was asked to join the project by an agent of the government. It doesn't sound like something a top Pomerian would know anything about. To me, it just sounded like another challenging job. However, this project was also the target of a secret plot. I bet you can imagine the kind of crime the nation's top secret might attract. I never thought for the life of me I ever had to deal with spies. It was never made public, but every organization in the country moved on this one. And then one day the name of the certain programmer emerges as a suspect. I was the guy who built the core of the system. The police arrested you, and then that incident happened. He escaped from the interrogation room and took Little Line as a hostage. By the way, Detective Yod, when was it that I was proven innocent? About 6 months after your death. I'm so sorry, you may. 10 years ago. My soul was split from my body and I lost everything. I was sealed in an eternal darkness. I existed in this world, no question about that. But nobody noticed my presence. What good were my powers? They didn't help anybody. Not even the passage of time could heal my pain. In fact, it only made it worse. I wanted to disappear, but I wasn't even allowed to do that. The way Line described it, it is exactly right. Sinking slowly toward the bottom of an endless sea. An overwhelming feeling of loneliness and despair. And I wanted all of you to suffer what I was suffering. And so that's why you murdered Alma. That's right. I want you to know what it was like to lose everything you cared about. I want you to feel the same pain I felt. What? It was the twisted wish of a mind poisoned by infinite loneliness. And then, As I was plotting my revenge, I had an idea. I came up with a plan to use these powers of mine to make a deal. The deal. There's something I just don't understand about the deal. I'm sure your powers will be very valuable to them, but what will you get out of the deal? A new life. Life? I asked them for 2 conditions. Number 1 was that they helped me with my revenge plot. And the second was a rebirth for me. Rebirth, a new beginning, eh? I didn't care if it was a fake life, an artificial life. I just want a physical receptacle for my soul, a name, an identity, an everyday life. I wanted to grow old in a society that would accept me. And finally I wanted to die surrounded by a loving family. That's the kind of life I've asked them for. A completely man-made life. That's right, I knew I couldn't hope for anything more than that. To make it all come true, I knew it would take a lot of money and a lot of power. That's why I decided to ask the national government to help me. And their response in the end was betrayal. They were making their moves much more careful than I suspected. They sent spies to this country and researched my powers on their own. And they even figured out what Temsik was all about. And you had no idea they were doing all this? None at all, I was a fool. So then, why did they go to all the trouble of making a deal with you? Why didn't they just steal a hunk of the Temsik meteorite from the park? They couldn't. Huh? After the manipulator incident, research was conducted in this country too. A report was submitted to the government about the source of the manipulator's power. By Inspector Canela and the old pigeon guy, eh? At first the government didn't believe the report. But then they decided to put the park under surveillance just in case. Surveillance, huh? It just looks like an ordinary peaceful park, but there are armed agents there at all times. Don't tell me that odd leaflet guy is one of them. No, not him, he's just a plain old odd person. That park is like a silent battlefield on an international scale. So that's why they couldn't steal the Temsik meteorite. And lately, on the pretense of building a housing site, they've been working on a plan to destroy the park in order to secure the Temsik meteorite. So that's it, eh? So the offshoot of your grand deal was this, eh? Yeah, it's the ending I deserved. But at least there's one thing you must be happy about. What's that? You managed to seal me away at the bottom of the sea forever. Well, shall we get started? Started with what? Bringing Detective Yo's back to life, of course. What good will that do? But we promised. We promised Miss Line and Miss Camilla we save them. And we can't do that without you, Detective Yod. I've been guided by fate tonight to this place. I won't give up now. Alright, fine. Let's see where it leads us. Here we go then, back to 4 minutes before your death. So, where are we headed? We're not headed anywhere, detective. What? There was only enough fuel on board to launch us away, detective. We will run out soon and That will be our destination, detective. What are you talking about? That would mean that you're trapped here too. By the way, I'm not the human detective. I'm a remote controlled robot detective. What? Your country's use of technology is just plain off. We get that a lot, detective. Why would you go to all of the trouble to do this? That's nothing but a shell. There's hardly a threat anymore. Criminality likes to provide against any possibility, no matter how small, detective. Possibility? What are you talking about? There is no need for you to know, detective. Oh shit. Now is the time to say goodbye, detective. In the end, your fate remains the same. It seems, detective. Grr. Camilla, forgive me. It isn't over yet. It isn't. Remember what that big masked man said? And a possibility, no matter how small. Possibility. In other words, there must be a chance here somewhere. The possibility of turning this situation around. Trick time. Huh? What is it, detective? Look at Yumi's shell. There's no aura emanating from his body. Of course there isn't. The Temsic fragment is gone. Could this change in his shell give us some kind of lead? Of course I wouldn't be able to reach that. I can go power distribution. I figured it out. I know what this possibility, no matter how small, is that they are afraid of. What is it? My time was perpetually stopped thanks to the power of Temsic. His body cycled between the moment that separated his life and death. Right, but no, not anymore. The Temsic fragment has been taken away. Exactly. So what does that mean? I get it. Your body won't come back to life anymore. The moment the Temsic fragment was removed, my shell became a regular corpse. So let's see, that means we can go back to 4 minutes before your death. But wait a minute. Exactly when is that death? That's simple. We'll find out. When we get there, let's move. I fell back through the character's time for what seemed like forever. And then I saw it, the final death at the end of this long night. Who exactly am I? I had already seen all of the clues, all I have to do now is remember. The final journey to the truth starts now. Save. Yes, I would like to continue playing. Final chapter. When was Yumi's death? It was 10 years ago when the Temsic meteorite fell. We traveled back through time and now we're here at the scene of the death.